Hey, listen, I just want to call out one person.
And I hate myself a lot.
But you're getting punched in the dick.
There needs to be more Street Shark references.
I say who?
That's funny as hell.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Underqualified and Overcompensated podcast. And as always, I am your host in the swivelly chair of reluctancy and more than likely self-shame, Rhodes.
Hey. Hi, Rhodes.
To my left, your right is Vacation Rico, bronzing
Vacation
beautifully
Rico.
as always.
So beautiful.
Blending
is
in
out
with
a
the
lot.
general populace
In Costa Rica.
and in Costa Rica. Doing great. How are you doing, buddy?
I am fantastic, It's nice weather out here, not too crazy. I had Chinese for dinner at Le Defac, a very nice little bistro. Le Defac.
Les Davasse?
Oh, that's even better. Le Defac. Yes, they had, even though it sounds French, they had Chinese tonight, so that was
Yeah, they're a
was very
multicultural center,
scrumptious.
really.
It's fusion, lots of fusion.
Lots of fusion. Yeah, steak and shrimp the other day.
It's hard out for a pimp.
Sorry, I'm putting in my lunch order to my restaurant, Le Weef.
The weave.
Yeah, the wife.
Lashley.
La Ashley, my restaurant downstairs. My beautiful wife who is getting me chicken tendies.
Need more chicken tendies.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you today. We are going to talk about the 2020 presidential race. We're going to go over the election information that is coming out, the polls as they come out. We're going to go over it. This is not going to be our only broadcast today. We're going to do this for a little bit, and then later on tonight, when more definitive results start coming out and higher predictions, then we'll come back again. Hopefully, I'll be joined by others. If not by myself, we will figure this out. Rico, how are you feeling about this right now?
I have, again, we'll start this like every other political show. We do not endorse any candidate. Your choice is yours. Vote
Except for this one candidate.
If you're a fan of the show, or you watch it sometimes, that there's at least one candidate that I'm not a fan of. But, I think that candidate that I don't like has a very strong chance, and that saddens me. But, I'll keep putting my green suit on and follow his orders.
She's awesome.
There better be some
Thank
barbecue
you, I
sauce
love
and
you.
chicken tendies.
Sorry, I love you. I'm going to be eating during this, so.
Oh my god! All two viewers do it. No one wants to hear you.
I'll pull the mic just a little bit away.
Slightly away. So,
No,
yeah,
I mean,
this,
so we have had people in the past be like, you say that you don't endorse anyone, but you obviously do because you always talk about Joe Jorgensen. Yes, we do enjoy Joe Jorgensen. We think she's a fantastic
I can have
candidate.
a personal choice.
Yeah, we have our personal choices, you fucks. Like, we are going to vote for who we want to vote for. But we're not endorsing someone. We're not telling you to vote someone. We're not making something seem better. We don't try to make Dr. Joe Jorgensen seem as a better candidate because we endorse her. We just bring to you guys the facts because, honestly, we don't know anything else.
Honestly, all candidates are valid except Joe Biden.
That would be a personal endorsement, fucking Fox News. Just brown
okay.
Fox News.
Brown Fox News. Although in my head I was going to call it Box News for Brown Fox, but then it just sounds like a porn spinoff.
That 100% just sounds
Box News.
sounds like a Howard Stern segment.
And now to Portia with the weather. It's raining in here.
It's terrible. Oh, but we're gonna look at some stuff here, and we'll have some discussions. I opened this up to several people, and if you're in the comments and you would like to come on live and talk to us face to face, please let me know in the comments. I'll shoot you over the invite link, and you can hop on in.
Yeah, you too can be a Z-list celebrity on the internet for one day.
Z, dude, we're on the Greek alphabet. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, Omega sounds good though. Or are we like go? Yeah, we are Omega level. So, elections, it's a big deal. You know, I feel strongly about my candidate that I would personally choose. However, I do see the candidate that I'm least likely to choose potentially taking this home, which is kind of saddening, but that also leads me into what happens after the election. Do you think it's immediate chaos? Do we wait till they take the stage and actually do the full-on changeover, change of command?
So I mean, it's going to be immediate chaos, and it's only if one of the candidates win.
I think it's chaos either way.
I think it's going to be different levels. So, like, I've been watching the news all morning and yesterday, and liberal stronghold cities have been preparing for shit to go crazy. New York, LA, they have been boarding up their stores all over. Like, they are shut down. They are boarding up, prepared for shit to get crazy if Donald Trump wins. And I think that is a likely scenario. Not that he wins, but that there would be riots and looting all over again. I don't really see that if Joe Biden wins, because for most conservatives, they'll bitch and complain about it on the internet. But they're not going to take to the streets.
So you don't think the Proud Boys are gonna stop standing by and standing down?
No. So the one thing the conservatives do when the other party wins, like, there's death threats and like someone's going to try to kill them. Like, that's going to happen. Duh. It happens with every president, but it's probably some crazy conservative guy in his trailer freaking out. Like, that 100%. It's going to happen. But a mass amount of conservatives walking down the street with their AR-15s trying to incite violence? I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm very interested to see what happens after the election.
Like, they could surprise me. Don't get me wrong. Could surprise me.
Like, I feel like I'm expecting chaos in the streets no matter who wins, with the exception of third party. People are just not going to know what to do. Like, if third party wins, what's up, Kenny? If third party wins, then people are just going to be shocked and confused, like, how this happened. And then there will be peace in our time. Like Tony Stark said, peace in our time.
People would be too upset to really know if they should be upset. Like, if Joe Jorgensen won, they'd be like, the fuck?
And her VP is who? Vice President Spike?
Spike? Vote for him just on that alone. It's like, the only reason to vote for Kanye is to say that we had President Kanye or President Yeezy.
Oh, my God.
Vote for Joe Jorgensen just purely on Vice President Spike.
I don't know, man.
It's
going to be an interesting time. I think if either of the two bigs take it home, there's potential for drama. You know, not like I want to see drama. I would like for things to go back to being peaceful. But I think
turn off.
I'm by myself now. Hello. Welcome
I'm
to the
here.
Beef. God damn it!
I was turning off my ceiling fan so it didn't turn my chicken tendies cold.
Oh, that's perfect. The way that I'm set up now, I'm looking at my camera, but it looks like I'm looking at you.
Fine, we'll
This
flip.
is better now. No, don't.
But yeah, I mean,
Like I said,
it will be interesting.
yeah. Like I feel like every election it's gotten worse, more let's get the courts involved. We're not happy with the results of this. It can't be right. Then we eventually say, fuck it. Let's just keep it rolling. I don't know if people are just going to keep it rolling this year.
So that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
So I was telling our British correspondent, Jamie Beaumont, earlier. Hopefully he can be on later. Good friend of mine, good gaming friend. And I invited him to be on the show because just having a different viewpoint of someone completely out of the country, not tied to our election at all. Because oddly, as most Americans don't really pay attention, other countries do pay attention to our election. Like, closely. Because we're not to sound conceited, but America, the United States, is a powerhouse in the world. We impact shit when things happen. So they want to know who the next person in charge fucking shit up is going to be. So people pay attention, like Jamie, and he has American friends, a lot of American friends. So he told me that he's been, doing some research on the candidates and paying attention to it all. And he asked me, do you think it's going to go over well? Like, what's going to happen? I was like, well, they're going to contend it. Like, of course.
Yeah, it's been happening since
Gore.
Who did Gore run against? I can't even remember.
Bush.
Okay.
Yeah, with the Chad ballots.
Yeah.
The hanging Chads.
The fucking Chads.
Right? Like, he threw a big fit over that, but they recount him pretty quickly. Like, it doesn't really put him too far back.
See you later, Kenny.
Than when they're supposed to change hands anyway. Yeah. But there'll be another 50 days of a recount, of course. I don't think it's going to be a situation like with the Gore Bush election where Supreme Court literally chose the president. That went a little far. And
what if the current sitting president, President Trump, just says, "No, I'm not leaving."
He's gonna leave. It's gonna be like an episode of Cops, and he's gonna get dragged out of it.
What if he just gives Joe Biden the wrong address, and Joe Biden's running America from a White Castle somewhere, thinking it's the White House?
Honestly, you might be able to tell him that, and he'd be like, "We've downgraded, but it's okay. You guys have
been here before." Kamala and Joe go to White Castle. Watch that movie.
Right, there's going to be contention, obviously, but either way, I think most people, are going to roll with it. I mean, whoever gets voted in, and depending on the party, I honestly think if President Trump gets reelected, it will be incited violence and riots in the street. It is going to be fucking obscene, and I am thankful I live in fucking Texas right now. And I'm thankful I live on post in Texas and not like in fucking Dallas or Austin. Because they can fucking riot down there. But I think if Joe Biden wins, I don't think there will be like massive incited panic in the streets.
I don't know. This is 2020 though. You're forgetting the 2020 factor.
There is that point.
Literally anything can happen.
Yeah, I don't think all of a sudden if Biden wins that a bunch of rednecks from North Carolina are going to drive up into D.C. and storm the White House. But it is 2020. You never know.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
It'd be fucking awesome.
Just like
we've seized the White House for America, and Donald Trump is staying right here.
Wow.
His Secret Service is a bunch of rednecks now.
Oh, the fat lippin'.
A fat lip, no sleeves, American flag
Hell
bandana. Honestly, dope image. Don't want it to happen, but dope fucking image. But I mean, it's not gonna happen. It's just like it. If he wins, the White House lawns are gonna be on fucking fire. Like, it's gonna be insane. DC is like
This is
pretty
what I
much
think.
evacuated.
We're spreading racist crap by saying
So-
Democrats will riot and Republicans won't.
I
I
appreciate
actually
your
think
comment.
that it can go either way.
So I
It's not
appreciate
really
your
racist,
comment.
though.
Rico thinks it could go either way. I don't think so. Also, that's not racism.
Definitely not racism.
Because race has nothing to do with political party. But I do appreciate your comment. I don't feel that the Republicans, and I can't honestly give you a reason. It's just off of years of watching both political parties and seeing that when they do protest and they do go out on the streets, there's less violence that ensues when there's more of a conservative base. And also to clarify, I have no problem with the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. I'm not a part of fucking either one of them. And Al Osorio, you're obviously not a viewer of the show, which is also fine, because if you were, you would know that
Yes,
neither
no.
one of us have any political affiliations with either of those.
Yeah.
Like, I am just as likely to be in a Second Amendment fucking pro-gun march as I am in a pro-choice march. Like, I am literally just as likely to be in either one of those. I
don't
could
know.
care less. But I
just
appreciate
don't
your
get, definitely don't get how that's racist. We're talking about parties. Parties aren't color specific.
yeah,
Thanks for your comment, Al. Good luck with that.
but I do appreciate your comment. I mean, that's
I
what
know.
we're here
Fuck
for.
you.
We're here to have conversations and, prove different things incorrect. Not racist, but it could be like, I don't know, separatist, tyrannical.
That'd be probably separatists. I don't know. Separatists will make way more fucking sense than somebody saying it's racist by saying one party. It's racist to say one party is more likely to riot than another. That's insanity. Good luck with that.
Now you got them all fired up. See what you did, Al?
I mean, that's. Thank you for your stupid fucking comment.
We're supposed to be positive and uplifting over here. There it goes. You know what I mean? Black Lives Matter and Antifa is what conservatives claim is the Democratic Party. Both Coulter, Buchanan, and Rivera have been saying this for years. Well, Ann Coulter is a fucking idiot. So there's that. She literally looks like the prostitute that the crypt keeper goes to. So we'll just throw that out there.
Love dust.
But I do
Lots of dust.
understand where your confusion comes from, right? Many people do have that. They associate Black Lives Matter and Antifa. Antifa has nothing to do with race, but obviously Black Lives Matter does.
Yeah.
And they associate that with democratic idealizations, however that fucking word works, right?
So
Ideology.
from my perspective, I don't consider Antifa and BLM the same thing. I think BLM has had a positive voice in the scenarios that have been happening. I feel like it has been ruined by people taking advantage of the situation in order to sow chaos, such as Antifa.
Mhm.
Again,
People
we're
who
not
write
talking
during
color
BLM
here.
during BLM protests, I don't believe they're a part of the BLM at all. Those people are there to take advantage of the situation. Antifa, on the other hand, they are anti-fascist, right? That's what they stand for. But every other white guy who looks like me is fascist, apparently.
I've been trying to tell you that for years.
I get it. I'm a little racist. Calm it down.
Satire. Again, satire. He's
I-
very not racist.
Literally on a podcast with a brown guy. Let's cool it here.
I'm a brown guy.
Literally like one of my closest friends. Let's get all bunched up here real quick.
He's got
But
one
I
brown
do
friend. He's
understand.
fine.
It's okay. I got like 2. Only 2. I'll throw
Ooh.
Randy in there.
Hey, Randy.
But I do understand the confusion, right? And at least here, to make it clear, we are not Fox News. We are not CNN, MSNBC.
Nope.
Obviously, if you can't tell by the fucking production value,
Hey,
we
normally
do
my
not,
production value is way better.
Yeah, and you're off a tablet. We do not blur those lines, and we do not put those affiliations together. The Democratic Party is the Democratic Party, and the Republican Party is that party. And honestly, both of us don't feel that there should be 2 separate parties. We personally think the duopoly should go away, and there should be much more differences, or it should literally just be just one fucking group trying to come to positive effects. But who am I?
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm just fucking here. But again, Al, regardless of what Rico says, thank you.
Sorry, Al. I went off the handle there. Just, I took that initial comment. Thank you for clarifying on that second comment. Much love. I hope you have a good day. Remember to vote.
Stay in.
If you haven't
stay in
already.
the conversation now. We love your comments. We love your jumping in. And if you're enjoying us, share us to your friends and let them know what we're all
your
about.
friends. Tell your friends how stupid we are.
Yeah, tell your friends. Tell your friends. Let them know what's up.
So, Al, you're quoting now Fox News, Limbaugh, Savage Carlson, talking about the rioters being minority, or always saying the rioters are minorities. We're not.
Yeah, we're not. I just said we're not Fox News.
We're the underqualified and overcompensated, baby. Not any of those.
Not Fox News. Not Fox News. I understand what you're saying, though. They do say that. And they use slightly like bait racing words, right? When they say that. Both do. Let's not get that skewed. CNN and MSNBC is not in the favor of minorities just because they happen to be more democratic when they report shit. And Fox News is not inherently racist just because they don't watch what the fuck they say. Okay? They're both fucking dumb.
Yep, they're all dumb.
I don't just watch
Media
one or the other.
died when Walter Cronkite died. Walter Cronkite was probably the last unbiased journalist to exist. Now everything's biased. It is what it is.
Yeah. And also, if you're ever if you have another comment, which I also invite, awesome. Don't come at me with a Coulter or Limbaugh as your first example.
Wow. Limbaugh. That's like
Ruskies. That's like saying Alex Jones said. You know what? Hitler thought.
Limbaugh's a pretty bad
and
example.
Mussolini had a conversation.
Like, if you're taking what Rush Limbaugh says as a facto, then
For any side.
you need to, for anything, you got to open up your worldview a little bit, just a smidge. Come up for air for a second. Limbaugh.
And that goes on both sides because there's the people who believe that he is speaking the gospel, and then the other people who think that he's the voice of the conservatives. He's not. He's just a crazy old white guy.
I mean, there's got to be a point where he's the voice of the ultra conservatimes.
Oh yeah, anyone is the voice of anyone. I'm sure we have someone on here who's like, this bald guy's making sense right now.
No one would say that.
There's got to be one.
Those bald guys.
There's got to be one, baby. There's always got to be one.
Limbaugh is to conservative fucking media as Howard Stern is to shock radio. They're the same fucking thing. Are you seriously getting upset at Limbaugh is only feeding into his fucking ratings? It's why, I don't know, is he even still on the fucking air? I don't know.
But if you,
this is the first time I've seen Limbaugh.
Conservative or conservative news, right? Which there shouldn't be a title as such. There shouldn't be Democratic, liberal, conservative news. It should just be fucking news. But if you treat conservative news as what comes out of Limbaugh's mouth, and like he's the voice of conservative news, that is you're doing the same thing that they're doing to you if you're part of the other party, and then that just feeds upon itself. So don't look in the mirror, right? You're kind of getting the same feedback. Rico's frozen. We'll wait for him to come back. He'll come back eventually. Don't you worry. When he unfreezes himself, we'll get Rico back in here. Oh, I really don't like being the only person, but that's fine. Figure this out, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, it's obviously Fox News and CNN, MSNBC. We've talked about it on the show before. They have their biases. I don't know why they have their biases. There we go. I was trying to flip us back around. I don't know why they have their biases, but they do.
Yeah. Like, as I said, Walter Cronkite, the last unbiased media person. And since then, it's I think Howard Stern is to the change of media as it stands, as like Elvis was to rock and roll. Everything people found out that sensationalism sells, and it's never gone back.
Well, yeah, and like it really surprises me, like the people who back these two separate news sources, they gotta like back political parties, right? That's why they are so skewed from each other.
Yeah.
Because literally, so I flip back and forth between both, right? I may listen to Fox News a little bit, and then I switch over to, and I force myself to give each one fair news. Don't really listen to MSNBC that much. It's mostly CNN and Fox that I switch back and forth from. And that's mostly because it's just an entertainment value. But watching the results, you watch Fox News and they're playing with the maps to see how it could work for him to win. And then CNN is doing the same shit to figure out how Biden can win. And
exactly.
It's the same, like they're playing for their own candidates. So you can't treat just one source because obviously they have a bias.
Yeah.
It's like if you go and you read conservative hard-on fucks bald eagle America fuckyeah.com, obviously.
Hey, that's my domain.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this beautiful fucking man right here.
Ah, hey.
Those of you that don't know, this is Stephen Mix himself.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
How are you, my fine sir?
Cheers to you guys. Oh,
cheers.
Ooh, there we go.
There you go.
I'm observing. I'm observing Lent, so
still in Lent in November.
Fair enough.
No liquor November. That's not how it goes.
It is now.
I thought it was sober October or something like that.
Oh,
that was last month. That was 3 days ago.
Oh, so now it's
no liquor November.
You got to do better than that one.
No,
yeah, that was pretty weak.
There's got to be a better one.
No vodka November.
No Natty Light November.
Ah, there we go.
There you go.
Get the
how are you?
Triple N going.
Yeah, how are you doing, my fine friend?
You know, I'm just living the dream over here.
Hell yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately about the whole debate or not the debate, but the election and how everything is just, it is turning into a shit show everywhere, my friend.
Yes, it is.
Of course.
People are worried about the stocks. I'll just use my folks for an example. They're worried about riots and looters and
well, your folks are still up in New York, right? So
yeah,
but they're upstate.
Hey,
like, would there still be riots over in the upstate area?
Come on. So there actually were riots in the upstate region. Back when the riots first started over, like going crazy in Seattle and LA, they actually started really going crazy in Albany, New York, the capital. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, they were afraid to go anywhere there was a major city. There was a riot going on. You know what I mean? So now you have the same extremist groups saying, well, if we don't get our way.
Which Al could be anyone.
Could be anyone. I feel it
Yeah.
can go both ways. I'm looking forward. I just want to see the chaos. The 2020 started with the purge bell, and somebody forgot to fucking turn it off. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
The purge
24
siren
hours,
is still
we got
going on.
365. Yeah, that's about where we're at right now.
Yeah. How is it? Since you're still over in Germany, how is it with soldiers that you're with? So, like, I don't work with soldiers much anymore. So, how's it going over there with the command?
We don't really see it or like have the effects of it.
It's
other
kind of
than,
like out of place,
you
out of
hear
mind
little
kind of thing.
whispers in the corners and things, and that's about it. In all honesty, the soldiers are worried about just when's my next smoke break, when's my next paycheck, and when
Hell
the
yeah.
hell am I getting out of work?
Yeah, all we care about is he going to give us a pay increase in February again?
Well,
And
we already know how that's
Are we going to go
depending on which
like
way.
2 months without pay when the government shuts down?
Yeah, and you know the shitty part about our contract, it states in there we still have to work if we don't get paid.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
tried
yeah.
it.
Unfortunately.
That's why I just don't go to work when everything's fine, so that way I can make up for it.
Hey, you
Yeah.
know, the way I look at it, if I don't get paid, can I put in a volunteer service ribbon for that?
Hell yeah, I like it.
This is
You know
not
what
the
I'm
first
saying?
time I've heard it,
If
and
you're
honestly,
not
I've never had the
gonna
balls
pay
to
me,
try.
I want a medal out of this. And it's going on in fucking OER or an NCOER. You know what I'm saying?
Like, someone's about to write me a bomb-ass bullet.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll write yours if you write mine.
There we go.
Hey.
That's how we submit it. Fort Hood's going to be all confused and like, why do we have a random award from Germany? And then Germany's going to be confused with the same one. They're like, oh, fuck.
Who the fuck is this Cody? I don't know this guy.
Maybe there's one random dude in the background like, I remember.
You just hear my wife.
It's just-
I know him.
He's
got
a
two
dum-dum.
kids. Good times.
no, it will be interesting. So, like, I'm trying to keep track, and obviously, it's still a little bit too early for any polls to be coming up. There were some unofficial polls. I'm gonna take that as a compliment, even though I know he didn't mean me. oh, he obviously he didn't mean Steven, I guess. Okay.
Oh, I'm wait, what did he say? Oh,
He said, "Look at these fucking cuties, except for the fat dude in the bottom."
maybe a fat cock. And he would know about it because he's infantry, and you know what they like to do.
Random cock inspections.
What do you think he's been doing on top of Range 301 this whole time?
I don't know. I don't work with them guys anymore. Hashtag artillery life. I'm literally in.
Oh, did they
hell.
change you?
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm starting from square one on everything I did for 4-2, and I just want to cry.
But
Yeah.
ouch.
Yeah. My ulcers are back, needless to say.
Hey,
McCready, you better
good
jump on
news,
here, you
everyone.
whore. There we go. Welcome to the VetCast.
The vent.
McCready
So-
said you literally sucked off everyone in Squadron, so they need to give him new food. I mean, how else are you supposed to get, rank, like a bomb-ass bonus?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So back to the
Back to the
unofficial
actual
polls.
thing at hand.
Yeah, we took a break for a second there. That's okay. I was
Yeah,
getting heated for a moment off of a previous comment.
Just one random dude. First time we've ever had someone randomly comment on there. And Rico immediately goes, fuck
Yeah.
you!
Yeah, don't come at me with some fucking calling something racist when nothing was fucking racist mentioned. Boy. Oh!
And I loved it that it wasn't the white guy.
Yeah,
Which one?
I got
There's
this.
two of us here.
Yeah, but it was before you jumped on.
Oh,
Kisses, McCready.
Yeah, but so
All right,
I'm looking.
so the election.
I'm looking at these pre-elections, and let's
Yeah.
see here. Let's show the group.
Share some stuff.
Yeah. So these were all taken on the 2nd of November. These are all national polls and
These
state
were all
polls.
taken in 2019 when they already decided who was going to win.
So last year. No, so they were November 2nd, so yesterday. And at that point, Biden had the at 51. Hey, Rico, you read this while I address my child.
I can't even see it. I'm looking at it. I'm on a very tiny screen. In case you're wondering,
using a
Stephen,
cell phone, so I'm no help either.
I'm on vacation in Costa Rica, so yeah. From my cabana, all I have is a small screen.
I got it. Biden was at 51%, and Trump was at 43%.
Mm.
So as of yesterday in a national poll, honestly, I never really get it when they say, national polls because no one fucking asked me. So I don't know where they get these answers. Like, I don't know who they're calling and asking.
And I love it because, the wife's home, so I'll make this quick so I can. In all honesty, our votes as citizens, the popular vote, they equate to jack and shit.
Yep.
So it's all
I'm with you on that.
Electoral college. And actually, there was a very, very well-informative podcast that came on.
Oh,
probably 2 or 3
underqualified and
weeks ago.
overcompensated last weekend, yeah.
And I mean, it went over how the actual electoral college works.
Okay.
But I mean, in all honesty, our votes don't mean shit.
I mean, they don't. And me and Rico feel that way. Firth
I've been fighting that argument for years. And you have
Firth
people
is
that
an adamant arguer about it.
I gotta run away, boys. The wife's
all right. Thanks for jumping on. Have a good one.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad.
Bye.
Of course, anytime.
Tell Joe we love her.
I will.
Say bye, Ray Ray. Say bye to Auntie Joe.
Bye, Ray Ray. We love you. Later.
See ya.
Later.
So, yeah, it's a whole electoral college conversation again.
Yeah. I don't think we need to. I mean, you're either for it or against it. I've been against it for a long time. Although I did not take the time to look up the numbers because a 1-for-1 vote versus the population of Texas / New York, California, Florida. I didn't look up the population there to compare to the national average. If you're watching and want to contribute to the show and look up those numbers for me real quick.
What are you asking?
What is the population? So what's the total population of America? But then you remove the most popular state or the biggest, most populated states. You remove them from the equation.
That's an all day of research, my friend.
I don't know. It's probably like an hour.
So we have
worth of research.
320 million people in this country.
Okay. What's the population of New York, right?
Let me move my food.
Move your food. Move your chicken tendies. I would have liked it.
Stuck.
No. If you when you put in P, if it just popped up Pornhub.
What am I, idiot? Just using my Chrome?
Incognito, bro.
So
2019. That's the entire state. That's not just.
Okay, so yeah, that's the whole state. New York City. No, that's New York.
Yeah, that's just the city. Yeah, but in New York State.
All
right, so it's 19.45 million. Now, for reference, put in the total population of the United States.
It's 325 million.
325 million. So yes, a large chunk just in New York, 19.45 million. But I think there would be one last thing: the state of California total population.
Well, I would only say because California is probably split. Oh, 40 million.
39 point. Okay, so 40 million. The other one, let's just say 60 million between the two of them. That's. I feel like it still doesn't make a large enough argument to say we need representatives to make a choice for us.
Well, yeah,
which
because
can
even look
invalidate.
here, so Texas is 29 million,
Yeah,
right? And that's like held as like a conservative stronghold, even though in reality it's not. But due to like electoral voting, even within the state level, because electoral college isn't just a United States type thing, like they also kind of have that structure within the districts of the states themselves. That's what gerrymandering is for.
Yeah.
So honestly, there's a large Democratic voting populace in Texas as well, and there's a large Republican voting populace in California.
Yeah, and even in New York, once you step outside the city areas, things are going to start to lean more right, middle right, as opposed to strictly left. And I brought it up last week. Now that Hillary Clinton is a part of the Electoral College in New York, that blows my mind, because yes, when you take into consideration that a lot of New York is going to go blue, there's like, if someone can overrule that and just invalidate so many third party or Republican votes, if someone who's clearly like in the upper echelons of the Democratic Party, New York never has a chance for people that are going to vote in a different way for their votes.
It'd be like if Rush Limbaugh was a part of the Electoral College for Florida or Texas.
Riot for that shit.
Yeah, right? Like if fucking McCain was an Electoral College guy for any other red state, people would be like, well, then how is the Democratic vote supposed to? It's not. It's not going to count, which is why I hope Firth can someday explain it to me in a process that it makes me understand. But I don't feel like he can, because it's just in my head that it is not even close to remotely fair when you have a section of the community where their voice is literally moot because of the other. It's a majority.
I've got it. I've solved it in my head. Here's the only way I'll ever accept the Electoral College. You ready for it? Every year, random lottery, 2 people get picked at random in the state.
To be a part of the Electoral College?
To be a part of the Electoral College that year. And those 2 random people, I don't know how many Electoral College people there are per state. It probably differs. Who fucking knows? But those fuckers, they just find out January 1st, oh shit, I'm a part of the Electoral College this year. And then they make a choice. And it's picked based on not knowing anything about these people. It's like jury duty.
But even then, so my real issue with the Electoral College has nothing to do with who's appointed in the Electoral College. That's a flaw. It's the Electoral College.
That's a big deal to me. When I see Hillary Clinton as a part of the Electoral College for this year's vote, that's fucking crazy to me.
But she's just going to vote for whatever the majority is. I mean, obviously she's going to lean more democratically, but let's say if New York went somehow, a majority of their votes went towards Donald Trump, she could not vote in that favor.
No, but we've seen that.
No,
we've seen where
we've never seen the Electoral College voice the opposite, because it's the popular vote. Yes, but the way that, like I said, there's the smaller Electoral Colleges, right? The percentages. So the way they gerrymander makes it to where then the majority goes towards.
I see what you're saying.
So the Electoral College never really votes against their state, and someone could probably prove me wrong very easily.
I hope someone does.
By looking it up.
I can't look it up right now.
I'm going to look it up for myself.
All right. Just look up, has the Electoral College ever in a state ever gone against the majority? I would look it up myself, but Wi-Fi in Costa Rica right now is not very strong. We got
who is-
somebody.
No.
Oh shit!
Balthazar, baby.
Wow, Duncan appeared.
Dude, I've been sitting here trying to figure out what I'm so old sometimes because I'm sitting here trying to figure out why this stupid button. I'm like slamming the button, and then I finally got it to where I was like, "Oh, okay, it's good." And then my computer just like fell apart, and I'm like, "I don't know what I did."
Did you steal James Cameron's fucking camera? Why is your video so fucking clear?
I don't know.
It's
Maybe that's, the
upsetting,
button,
to be
maybe
honest.
that's the button I broke. Maybe I put it on
Yeah.
4K and I've got like 2 minutes of battery life.
It just made it work better.
Sort of slamming it probably before I slammed it against the wall. How y'all doing?
Fantastic.
We're doing okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we're discussing things. We've already had a small heated conversation with a commenter earlier. We're discussing the merits of the Electoral College right now.
I don't even know
Good
why
times.
I don't know why that keeps coming up. Like I know why it comes up because
The
it's an
Electoral
easy
College?
fallback. Yeah. Like I know why it comes up because it's an easy it's something easy to blame. Like why does this state's votes matter more than this and so on and so forth. But those maps where they drop it, where it literally says, if you eliminate the Electoral College, these 3 regions in the U.S. are going to dictate your votes. Like it's entirely accurate. So I don't know why they get hung up on that.
So me and Rico just don't feel like it's an accurate representation of like the 1-for-1 because people say, a majority shouldn't dictate the rest of the country, but that's literally what the Electoral College does. Because the higher percentage within a state, and a lot of the states are all or none, only like 2 of the states are 50-50 votes. But all the rest of the United States, all the other states are all or none in the Electoral College. So it's the percentage of that state, all of those 34 Electoral College votes go. So it's still a majority vote in a way.
Sure. And I agree with you on that because I think really kind of what it is more nowadays is a forcing function to get people to vote, right? Like I hate to use a military term, but I think that's really what it is. I think it's, because if you realize, like if I'm voting in North Carolina, I can't even remember what the electoral votes are in that. Give me a second here. Let me pull
California,
it
I think it's like 36.
No, North Carolina. So
North Carolina.
that's so I have to do absentee
like
ballots. So I do
16.
that in North Carolina. Yeah, right. So I think if you look at the regions and you say like, California's 55 electoral votes and you're in North Carolina, you're 16 votes. Obviously those 2 states, they don't match up the same. So what happens is it forces the candidates to go and work in those regions to get those votes. Because if they knew that, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. So if I know that California is where I have to go because California is my Democratic base and the population inside of California is significantly larger than other states. So take, for instance, like Wyoming and South and North Dakota, those people are never going to go to those states and they're never going to work to do anything that's for the betterment of those regions. So I think that's part of the function. Not only does it force people to get out and vote because they realize that their electoral votes matter, especially now that we know, and I think the Supreme Court again just kind of validated that they can't change, like the electoral votes have to be faithful to the voters, so they can't just like decide where they want to vote.
So in 2020, I'm actually just now reading it. So 1952 they ruled it, but in 2020 the Supreme Court also ruled in Chiflo versus Washington that states are free to enforce laws that bind electors to voting for the winner of the popular vote.
Sure, and they should. I don't know why you would ever have an electoral college that says, "Well, I know what this is the people want, but this is not the way I'm voting." Like I just think that. Unfortunately, yes, but I think logically that's so weird.
Oh, it's corrupt.
Yeah.
Dirty.
I mean, think about it. It's almost, it's not as bad, but it's almost like there's another country in Africa right now where they just jailed their the oppositional candidate.
I think it's Nigeria.
Yeah, I think so. And he was like, "Man, I don't like you," and he just jailed it. Like that's, and I think Russia even got it. Like even said, I think Putin was blamed for something like that. I don't know if it happened, but I think Russia had a similar incident. Like it was the opposite.
Oh no, Putin does it. Like
they poisoned the guy. That's what it was.
Or he was like, "Hey, I'm just going to put up a referendum for you guys. I want to be president for the next 10 years. Y'all can vote on it. Freedom of choice." And they're all like, yeah, you can do what you want.
Yeah.
And like his
how's
opposition somehow disappeared.
How's the gulag this time of the year? Depends on how I'm voting.
Hey, unrelated question, by the way, while you're culminating that thought, if you're going to let me stay president, you all know how cold the gulag is right now? Unrelated.
Why is it
But
so
yeah, I
bitter?
mean-
yeah.
So they do have to vote for the popular vote, which obviously makes sense. But I just can't wrap my head around it. For me, it just makes more sense because if it is that popular vote, then the Electoral College goes anyway. It's just to me, it feels like there are still so many people within that state that are then not having their voice used. Like one way that I would be better with the Electoral College is if they allowed them to split their votes. Then at least it would be more of a representation of the split parties, right? Like in California, they have 36 fucking electorates, 55.
I think it's 55. Yeah, it's 55.
55 electorates. So if 40% of them were conservative, at least, 20 of the electoral votes would then go towards the Conservative Party. Like that then seems a little bit more, and if the Libertarians got 3% in the state and then like one vote, but still, I feel like that would be more of a representation than win all or none.
I don't disagree. I really just think it's more or less about forcing the candidates to go to those states. I really do. I really think it's forcing them to actually understand it. It sounds kind of messed up that you have to say, well, these certain states have these votes, so guess what? You have to go there. Like you have to care about this part of America. But I think that's really, I think it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, like
that you have to
they've
say
been
something like that.
skull fucking Pennsylvania. Like,
Oh yeah, right.
they've
Like,
been
and
all
who
over.
is it? Delaware. Delaware has 3 electoral votes, and so does DC.
right?
Right,
They don't
and
give a
and
shit about DC or Delaware.
well, and they work in DC, so it's like, so it's like, well, I never have to go there, but if I go to California and New York, those electoral votes matter. I do think the problem with the Electoral College is that it people take it for granted. I think a lot of the time, like New York and California have almost always, and definitely more so now, become very blue states. And I think that the problem is people go, well, those are kind of guaranteed to be blue states, so we're not really going to worry about them. We're going to go to these other states. And then you have the issue where they're talking about battleground states, right? Like where they're worried about, like,
Right.
Do not ever ask me how Texas became a battleground state. Like, that just blows my mind. But you talk about Texas and Florida and all these other places, and it's like, well, if he wins these states, then, what I really think gets to the heart of it is when Fox News has actually got a really good map of it right now. But you can drop it down to the counties, and when you look at the counties, that's what gets me. Because you'll see a state, like if you look at the 2016 map, a state will have all red counties and then a couple of blue ones, and that state is blue because of that. Yeah, there you go. And so I think I can't remember what, yeah, okay. So go to,
So you see all these red counties.
right. But see, what's funny is some of those if I remember right, some of those states go to the state one, because some of those states I think turn blue. Yeah, right there. Like that.
So, like,
that
yeah,
blows my
Colorado.
Yeah, blows my mind. Right, but like
That's
it's because of the majority in the cities and stuff,
Yeah,
and I
densely
think
populated.
yeah, and I think that's why I think which I mean, of course that makes sense. Logic is there, but I think regionally that sort of explains sort of the need for the college. I think on some level, because again, I think it forces the candidates just to go to those areas to fight for those votes. I mean, you
it
see that's
does,
why
but
Trump has
then-
been spending so much time in North Carolina.
Yeah, I mean it does, but then think of like, so if they were happy to swing those states, or even right, they won there's a majority of them, right?
Sure.
Wouldn't then it make sense that the majority would win with their candidate? But I mean, it's ultimately a deeper issue with me altogether. That I don't like the 2-party system, the fact that we have 2 parties, so that we are fighting for one or the other side. I think it's all flawed integrally. But
No, I think everybody agrees that there should not be the 2-party thing. I think is
well, everyone
obscene.
except the 2 parties, yeah.
I think, yeah, well, there you go. I think it's, yeah, because they essentially have like a weird, I mean, it's a monopoly, which would be one. So bimopoly?
Duopoly.
Bimopoly? Duopoly? There you go. Yeah. I don't, it's just making up
My
words.
favorite
I love
new
that
term.
album.
I agree. I think that the problem you have is you're right. I think more parties should be represented 100%. I think it's ridiculous that we limit ourselves to 2 I think we're realizing how polarizing that is now. I mean, you do when you actually are in a time when family members are like not talking to each other because of the party lines, because it just goes back. But that also feeds all that garbage about a civil war after this election. It's like, what civil war? Republicans and Democrats? Like, where are the boundary lines?
Yes.
Like we're neighbors. Like what are we talking about here?
Yeah, like so where's this
Be a
civil
war
war
in my
gonna
front
happen?
yard.
Yeah, where are we talking? Like, are we?
Where's the lines at?
It's like, dude,
Right here?
Yeah, like, yeah. It's I can't. It's just crazy. It's
My
like, okay,
cul-de-sac shall rise again.
It's like, hey man, stay away from Main Street. If you're on Main Street or Third, don't go over there.
I've also thought about that
kill you.
too. Like when people are like, "Oh, there's gonna be another civil war," I'm like, "Fucking where?
yeah, I don't
Like
Everywhere.
who? Like, is this
At
one?
the Walmart.
Like Custer County in Idaho is just gonna be real pissed off the rest of the state.
That's the problem. When you
Custer's
can't
last
just
stand
draw-
2020.
When you can't just draw boundary lines, it's not civil war. It's rioting and anarchy is what
Yeah,
it is. People,
social
you're purging. It's everybody just killing each other. Like it's just
Telling you.
purging. It's just I can't. So I don't know. But I think even the bigger issue. The reason why I chimed in, the bigger issue is I think who's going to lose no matter what is the media. I think they've lost. I think your poll, because again, it goes back to 2016. The polls were wrong. This year, if Trump wins again, the polls are wrong. The media is wrong. Like I don't want to say mainstream because it makes it sound like they discredit each other. But I think the media is just going to lose overall because I think people are just, and I think also people are just tired of hearing about politics. So.
I think so. I mean, the media is definitely lost. It's been. I think people are fed up, and it feeds into the whole duopoly thing. We were discussing it earlier.
That word's that's got to be a word. Like
it is a word. I've been hearing it all
totally
across
stuck.
the news.
I'm so for it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the libertarian pages, they love that fucking
Duopoly?
word.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and like you see it all across. We were discussing earlier. Fox News, everyone conservative. CNN, MSNBC, liberal, and it should be news, not conservative news. Like you could have Alex Jones, Rush Limbaugh. They can be conservative news. They're not empires. Fox News should just be like, hey, you know what? If Biden did this, he could win. Also, if Trump does this, he could win. Want to know why? Because
Absolutely.
we're reporting the fucking news.
Absolutely, and I think it should be that way. I think it should be.
That'd be like if your battalion commander was like, hey guys, we're gonna do this, but the Taliban could come back in the ass end.
Like the narrative.
Yeah, it's like whose side are you on?
No, and I think you're right. I think it should be because it should be. Here's what happened. Here's what this side says. Here's what this side says, and then that's it. Like I think it's that easy, right? And then let the people kind of figure it out. It's not what sells. It's not what sells. And you look at like Tucker Carlson, right? Perfect example. I don't know if you watched it last night, but Tucker Carlson is like, I think he won primetime cable news television show ever. He was the highest rated. That's what it was. He was the highest rated one ever, which is news. Like that's crazy. And last night he was talking about Biden. And everybody knows that Biden slurs his words sometimes. So he says you can't understand what he says. And then last night, Carlson kept saying that. He was like, well, he's going to fight for you to get it. And if you get it, and he kept doing that. And it's like, dude, it's news. It's respected news. It's so blatantly an attack. It's just like, guys, like I can't.
This isn't the late show with Trevor Noah. Like this, you're not on Comedy Central.
No.
It's all entertainment now. It's all.
And it is.
Control through entertainment.
And it sells, right? Like when they were talking about that bill that was going through the House, and they stopped it for breaking news to talk about Justin Bieber couldn't get his monkey through the airport. Like that's where we are now.
Well, like the two political parties, they need these news sources to back them up because without them, they would lose their power, right? If one doesn't have the other, and that's why they hate third parties and why they always try to stifle the third parties, is because they're fighting each other. So if it's us versus them, it's very easy for one to rise to power. But if it's a middle party going, fuck these other two guys, all of a sudden you have people in the middle going, wait, no, fuck them. Like what? Yeah, no, fuck these guys. Like we're all fine. And that's why they hate third parties, and they don't even give them the light of day. And regardless of how I feel about a third party, it just seems asinine to me that we wouldn't give someone else a voice, regardless. Like,
Sure.
even that crazy dude with a boot as a hat. Like, let him.
Vermin Supreme.
fucking on
I'm
the-
all
yeah.
about some Vermin Supreme, bro. I'm
Yes.
all about some man, like the pony ID thing and the teeth brushing cabinet committee or whatever. Like, dude, that like he runs on those. It's so funny.
Joe
It's so funny.
Jorgensen's vice president was his vice presidential candidate.
Was he really?
Yes.
I
He was
did
on
not
the
know that.
Vermin Supreme ticket,
I did not.
and
know
Vermin
that.
Supreme lost, and so Joe took him from that ticket as her vice president.
I just think that form of protest where you're running, it's so genius. It's genius. Like 'cause he makes them all look dumb, and he's not even trying.
I think it's great, but let that dude on the debate stage. I would have loved to see him talk to President Trump because
Yeah,
if he
yeah.
was on if you're on all 50 ballots, all 50 states,
Mhm.
regardless of what poll percentage, because you have to have 15%. Well, in order to get 15% on a national poll, guess what? You have to be included in the fucking national poll, which no third-party members were included.
I don't even. Yeah, I think you're right. Well, I know you're right about the party system because, like I said, the two-party system is obviously not working, and we can't, And I think it shows because everybody gets all tied up about who's going to be president, and I really think people it overshadows the more important of like the Senate and the House. Like that's really where it matters.
Yeah.
The president just kind of signs off on it. Now, obviously, if you have the majority in both and the president, like that makes for very easy glide paths for things to get done. But people get hung up so much on those, and I think you're right because we have third party people in those. Like there's independents. I think there's a couple libertarian mayors now. I don't know if there's any libertarian like.
There's a couple
Senate
of
House
senators and governors that are libertarian.
Sure, but even the ones that just consider themselves independents, I think that still is third party recognition. The thing is that some of the independents are known to lean left, so they're cataloged as, liberal. And I think again, that's the problem too, is that when you have those third parties running it, that people just go, oh well, this libertarian, for example, tends to have more liberal views. So it's like a liberal, like I was looking it up the other day, and there's like a anarcho-socialist libertarian wing that like blew my mind. Yeah, I thought it was on Wikipedia, and I was like, what the heck is that? Like, I just,
You went down the rabbit hole.
dude, I was in the weeds.
I'll be
man.
right back.
It just it's crazy because you get into where like all these different parties want to divert from each other and everything. And I think what happens is as soon as somebody from a third party votes a certain way, they get pulled in with the two parties, so they claim them anyway. And instead of it being like, well, this libertarian voted this way or this independent voted this way, So I think it's just, the two party system definitely has like a monopoly on it. And I definitely agree that there needs to be a change for that.
It's a little asinine. I hope that I think somewhere in the next 20 years, I think there will be a change. Just because of time, like. And I was having this discussion with one of my soldiers the other day. I think there will be a change because all of these older people who are more set into, the two parties, because it's more of the younger generation that is now speaking out about this. Kind of our level of generation that's now speaking out about it will then be old enough or older that whoever's in the Senate and the House will then be of that generation. And then we'll start running for president. So, and all those older people will either be dead or out of control.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I think eventually there will be, Senate and House term limits and, different regulations for wanting to run for the Senate and the House and the president. I think eventually these things will change. And I think eventually the duopoly will kind of divide and minimize a little bit, kind of spread out more. So I think it should just be put your name on the ballot, run, and you don't need political parties for funding, because if you're going to run and you manage to get on the ballots, you should be federally funded to run for president.
I think, and I think that's kind of where I get with my views. When you had Joe on the show and I asked that question about, abortions being tax, funded and everything else, because people should have a choice. If we are going to go with the income tax, people should have a choice on where their money goes, to some extent, because I think we all can agree on like infrastructure, emergency services, things like that. But then when you get into the weeds of the smaller ones, I think people should be able to opt in and out. And then if something gets funded, it's because the people want it, I think that once you are, because I can see some merit in that. Like once you're kind of identified as a candidate in all 50 states, you're federal. Like once you're taken seriously, I guess to make it simple, you being sort of guaranteed the ability to get your message out. I think that makes sense because I agree. I think it's ridiculous that people have to fight so hard for funding and they're fighting so much. No matter what side you're on, you see those ads all the time where there's a an 800% match of donations. There's a if you vote or if you not vote, if you finance us for this, you get free stuff. And it's like I don't, because my problem always went back to, if we give you all this money and this candidate is outraising these people by so much and they lose, well, where's the return? Where does that money go? Because you're making these record-making amounts of money. So after the fact, do you turn the money back over? Because the people aren't getting back their money. So it's what are you doing with that? So I guess it's a fair point. It's almost like a bad investment, and I think that's ridiculous.
The federal government, if someone is going to run for president, and they should then fund them running, because I think there's a fee just to apply of $100,000 or a couple hundred.
It's something
just
ridiculous,
to apply to run for president.
Yeah.
And that's asinine, because who's to say that myself, obviously not running for president, probably wouldn't be a great president, but myself, who'd say I wouldn't be a fantastic president when I'm 36, right? But I can not even come close to sucking enough dicks in government to get $100,000.
I know, because that's an outrageous amount for some people, and I think
I don't even make that much a year.
Well, and it also, because people want to use that so much to say things like, this guy's outraised this guy by more, so, and this guy can get more commercial time, and you're right, it drowns out the opposition. But if you were to federally mandate it, you put a cap, right? So each candidate, or depending on how many parties you're willing to, because there are a lot of parties out there. So if you limit it to the top 10, I don't know how that would work, but if you did say the candidates that are running that we're going to televise, they have this amount and they're going to get equal distribution in all these cities and states, so that way we can guarantee they have their message conveyed at the same level, that way there's no overshadowing another. I think that's probably a more fair way to do it. Plus, it would just stop all of the stupid ads in the middle of my YouTube videos, which are just, extremely annoying. But that would just, just
all I really want is just the ads to stop.
Oh yeah, I love it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I thought it was funny earlier. I got on Fox News and I was looking at some stuff this morning, and there was a Joe Biden ad in the middle of the. And I was like, man, look, that's how you know that they're just overbuying ads.
I brought that up last podcast. I was watching Fox News, and all of a sudden I was in the kitchen and I heard it, and I was like, hold on, I'm not listening to CNN right now, am I? And I come back in the living room, and I'm like, I am watching Fox News. The fuck? Okay, I guess we'll just take money from fucking anyone. All right.
Yeah, it's just, because the ad, it's just ridiculous. There he is.
Yep. So the bathroom's very far away from my cabana here in Costa Rica, so I had to go to that.
I don't miss that. I don't miss that. Like having to get up in the middle of the night, because we had guys. So not to go down the hole, but when we were deployed in 2009, all the buildings are covered in the big giant concrete barriers, and the latrine I think was maybe 150 feet, maybe. So it wasn't that far. But at 2 in the morning when you wake up because you're drinking so much water because it's hot and you got to go, guys were getting irritated that they had to go and put because they were also being jerks then and saying you had to wear a full uniform.
You could just throw your boots on, run out in your boxers.
It's so dumb. We're in the middle of nowhere in a cop, and it's man, I'm just trying to throw my flops on. I'm wearing Raider panties. Just let me go piss, and then I'll come back. And and
some dude's just in his boxers, boots, plate carrier and ACH, nothing else.
Because it got well, and of course it's it's overseas, so it got real bad because you had guys that were oh, well, I'll just sneak through the barriers and just go on the backside of the building. And then one day, one of the staff sergeants opened his window and he was looking at some dude just like staring at him while he was pissing. And everybody's like, "That's not a latrine." And so they freaked out and they started telling everybody you couldn't go back there anymore. But you knew people were still doing it because guys would go back there to smoke and there'd be just like, just
piss
pee
and cigarette
stains
butts.
all over the run. Yeah, man. It's like, dude, just if it's 2 a.m, I gotta go piss. Just let me go piss. Like, it's not. If I get hit with IDF right now, it's gonna hit me. Like, it doesn't matter what uniform I wear. Like, it's gonna boom.
Like, it
You
was
know?
my time
Yeah, I
to
promise.
no
it's gonna
longer
be
be here. If they
if anything-
perfectly timed me walking from my home to the shitter
geniuses.
in the dark.
If anything, well, and that's the thing, right? Like, even nowadays, if I'm hitting the dark and I'm wearing black PTs, good luck, man. I'd rather you just let me be out there half naked because I'm already super pale anyway. The moon is gonna that moon beam is gonna come off me, right? So I'd rather you be like, hey, what's this weird white super pasty thing over here? Oh, it's the pieces of Duncan. Like, better pick them up. I think you muted yourself, dude.
What?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I literally just clicked it before I spoke because I'm an idiot. But I don't feel like my rank would last very long in that situation because me at 2 a.m. would very much, because I've done it out in the field on top of a striker. I'm just like in my hammock, in my underwear. So I'm like, oh, I have to pee. And I climb out the gunner's hatch, stand on top of the truck, and piss off the side because we designated the right side was the pissing side when we parked.
We had a.
And if someone tried to yell at me in the middle of the night walking to the pisser at 2 a.m. while deployed and be like, hey, you're supposed to be, like, fight me, bitch.
Oh, dude,
I don't care.
It's just one of those. It's one of those things that like somebody just gets this wild hair and is like, "This is going to be the thing I stick to," and everybody in the room is like, "Okay, Roger, we're going to go with that because you outrank all of us." But like, you want to be the guy that's like, "Do you understand how? Who's going to enforce that? Like, are you going to get up at 2 a.m. and go looking for people like not in uniform? Like, I don't." And
No, you guys are.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's what it is. Like, we're gonna be going. yeah.
That's why
I had
any meeting that ever happens with anyone over the rank of E8 and like 03, anytime that meeting happens, they should have a committee of 4 specialists to sit in the corner and listen.
the council of
Yep,
the council of sham.
Yep, the council of sham.
Yeah.
And just sits in the corner and listens very intently and respectfully. And then at the end of any meeting, no matter company, brigade, Pentagon, every meeting, they turn around and they go, okay, that's the end of the meeting. That's our information. Hey, guys, what do you think? And they can be like, that's fucking dumb.
I told somebody. So like where I'm working at now, like the E7 is like the lowest ranking guy in the room.
Oh.
And they keep us around. Yeah, it's awesome. They keep us around and then they'll come up with these ideas and all of us are in the back of the room like like you'll hear the general throw something out and you're like, do you have any idea how painful that's gonna be? Like, because we think about like Joe who's gonna be like dealing with this.
He puts
and
out
like,
and you're
dude,
immediately like, oh,
no.
I do not want to brief them on this.
No, I don't. It's like, I don't want to be the guy that's telling anybody this stuff. It's like, hey, you got to put this out, and you're like, please don't. It's like, please don't make me be the one to tell these people this because I'm the one that's going to get the phone calls. He's upstairs just, because he's got his own private bathroom, just like yelling from the latrine, like, give him bad news. Man, like, and then as soon as it goes out, you're getting phone calls about people in their career, and you're like, man, like, I'm supposed to agree with this and support this, but I really don't want to.
That sounds like most of the information I've ever put out.
Oh, dude. Yeah, well, like
Any
now,
information like, hey guys, this is what we're doing. But why? Do I look like a man with answers?
Oh man,
Someone said so. That's why.
Yeah. What on my face and demeanor right
I
now
can't-
translates to you? I support what I'm saying.
If you asked the guys that worked for me, I think when I was over there, I would give them something like, all right, I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna it's stupid, and we always laugh at stupid things in the Army because it's funny. So we're just gonna laugh about this after
We'll
I
cry
say
later.
it, and then I would say
I feel
it,
like
and then
I
I'll
sat
be
in a couple of these.
I'm sure you did because I'd say it and everybody would go, oh, okay, yeah. And then we just like walk away and then my sergeants are like, Sergeant Duncan, for real? Like for real? And I'm like,
Yeah.
and we're going to love it. And we're going to
I
support
wrote it down.
And it's going to work. Yeah. Well, and it's funny to get it back to the government thing. I think that's kind of what happens in politics. I think somebody who doesn't really understand something makes a comment and everybody in the room is like, I guess we got to support it. And then they just, and then it just keeps going. And then everybody's just pushing it. And then eventually it gets to the bad idea. And there's that one guy in the room that's like, look, I'm going to say it. This is a really bad idea. And then that guy immediately is just gone. Cause it's like, no,
It's the meme of the guy getting kicked out the window.
yeah. Or like my favorite one's the puppet one where his eyes move to the side. You know what I'm talking about? And it's like him kind of like, this is a great idea. And you're like,
That's my face 90% of the time. But I mean, to go back to the election, right?
Yeah.
There's our little Army conversation segment.
yeah.
But it will be interesting. I'm slowly looking over here. I got Fox News and CNN playing over here. Actually, CNN right now. Say I'm not as conservative as you'd like to think. Racist fuck.
Did you guys see that New Hampshire's already reporting? I think that's the
A few states are already reporting.
1%, because I just noticed that it turned slightly pink. So I'm like, oh, what's this? But
Did it?
It's only 1%, which means that the population is like 100 people probably in that voting precinct. But it's 61. They've got 61.5.
You can see it on the map.
Trump. Yeah. It says the polls close at.
Oh yeah. So New Hampshire's got 4 votes. 61.
That definitely looks like a Finnish name.
I definitely no.
Oh.
No, Yona, bro. How do you not? Okay. He says hey to you, but not to me, and I'm like, I definitely picked you up from the airport, man. Like, what are you doing?
For the international class?
Yeah. I met him in Finland during a spur ride, and then he hit me up while I was there, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna need a ride." I'm like, "I got you, man. It's not a problem." Like I get you because he brought me the Finnish long drinks, and dude, they're so yeah.
John's a cool dude. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, good dude.
So this is what we're seeing right now. New Hampshire is reporting 61% for Trump, 38% for Biden.
Were they projected to go for Trump? Was that a 26?
I don't doubt
2016? They were blue.
Everything above. Oh, really?
They were.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
But by a slim margin, though.
It may go back to blue because it's only 1%. Like, there's nothing there. But I mean, it's that's weird because I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, you're right. This shit happens every year where all of a sudden states just keep changing fucking colors.
I think I always go back to CNN because I think about Wolf Blitzer, but I remember Wolf said that they projected one state, and then I think like 30 minutes later they had to be like, yeah, sorry, that wasn't that was a bad projection.
So Andy's got a point because it's only 1% of reporting.
Yeah.
So it's 20 out of 26 votes. He's winning.
He's got it. It's in the bag.
It's in the bag, baby.
I just looked at the 1% and I was like, okay, hold on. I can cool it.
All I can think about is him tweeting that right now, and he's like, "It's already turning pink. I'm winning."
Fox News right now is playing with their fucking map, and they're like, okay, well, he got New Hampshire, which means he probably has Connecticut and Pennsylvania, and they're all grouped together, and they're going to tear into the blue wall. I learned so many dumb fucking terms this election.
Dude, well, MSNBC even came in, was it yesterday? And they were like, this is, in 2016, he was minus, it was like a 4% margin in this state, and now it's 10%. And they go back to polls, and it's like, yeah, it's more impressive than 1% reporting. I guess it's right if you're looking at the numbers. That does sound better. But
1% sounds way better than 12 people have voted for Donald Trump.
Well, what was it? Is it in New Hampshire? There's a city that has like 5 people that vote.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And I saw that this morning. I was like, that's hilarious. And all 5 were Biden. And they're like, oh, but the last time that happened, they voted for Nixon. And all I can think of is, man, I don't know if you want to use Nixon. It's like, you really want to go back to Nixon? Like,
there's like one county in Virginia that has nailed every presidential election.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of it.
I just go back to that bakery that makes the cookies.
And have they nailed it every time?
The last 3 out of the 4 election cycles that they've done this, they've been right, and their cookies.
So Obama, Trump.
And then here it goes back, and this is back to your problem. They only sell 2 cookies. It's a 2 cookie system, right? Like they would have a much bigger.
Oh, it was whoever bought them.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Just go to the bathroom. Do it from the bathroom.
Yeah. I don't think I can join this car. Sure, you can. You just can't endorse anybody, and you just can't be in uniform. Just take your jacket off.
Yes.
Yeah. And just yell it really loudly that your opinions are yours and not the DOD, and do not reflect upon the U.S. military.
Yeah, he's like a county DA. He's fine.
Oh, why are you worried about it?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's in Idaho, so if he just like coughs the word Biden, someone would probably like assault him.
Oh, probably. Well, yeah, but I'm sure their 4 electoral votes will get really mad about it.
They'll be super pissed. You
Yeah.
see a potato come off screen, just nail him in the dome.
And,
Get the potato cannon.
it's
Actually,
some potato
solely
guns
our
on the other
only
side of the
weapon.
room.
Idaho National Guard is currently in
Potato
Afghanistan
cannons.
with potato cannons. Just saying.
Yep.
Well, did you see that to get back into it? And I guess this says a lot. Did you see that Illinois is already maneuvering their National Guard into Chicago in case of
What?
the election doesn't go? Yeah, I saw that. This
They're not the
morning.
only ones. I think Michigan and Wisconsin is also doing the
Probably, and that's funny to me because it's like, what is that? And it's not even about like blue cities or blue counties or what. It's like, what does that say about about us as a nation? That it's
Yeah.
like, oh, we don't get our way, so we're just gonna riot and destroy everything. Like,
Well, that's what the argument with our random YouTuber was about
Yeah.
earlier, because
Good old Al.
good old Al. I was saying that I feel that if Trump wins, it'll be the liberals. I feel that if Trump wins, it'll be the liberals that go and riot. But I don't feel that the conservatives will go and riot to that same degree. And Rico was saying that he thinks it'll happen with both, but then this random YouTuber guy,
I'm
Al,
just saying, it's
jumped on
2020.
us, was like,
Anything
that's
can happen.
racist. And we're like, that's not how race works. But that's
So it goes back to that. What is that group called? The Proud Boys? Man, if
Yeah.
I was ever in
Yeah.
a group and you called me a Proud Boy, I would leave immediately. Like, a what?
Wait,
No,
I was
no.
a
Can we vote on
for a
this name?
I could have been the lead. Yeah, can we? I could have been a lead. Like, I could be leading one of the chapters, and if you were like, "Oh, you're a Proud Boy," I'd be like, "I'm out." Like, I don't even care what we stand for anymore. Like, that's just no, I'm good. I'm good. But I
like,
don't,
I'm proud of it, but
I think it just goes back to the narrative, man. I think So So if I drive out the back gate of where I work, and I drive there's a road that goes down kind of through the more urban area, and there's a sign for Biden and Harris, and at the top of it it says "Get good and necessary trouble," right? Like first off, what does that mean? And then 2, what kind of narrative is that, right? Like, are we saying that it's okay to get out and protest because that nobody disagrees with that? But that narrative started coming out around the time that the riots were happening, and I think it goes back to the narrative. And I could be wrong. I'm sure I am. I've not heard anybody from the conservative or even the libertarian side or any other party that's pushed any sort of agenda that's like, if it doesn't go our way, you need to get out, draw a crowd, isolate people, tell them they're wrong, show them they're wrong. I don't know.
I've only
I don't
seen
know if
that
I've
from
heard
the
that.
liberal sources, and it wasn't like news sources or any like political factor.
Yeah.
I've only seen it from like massive Facebook groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That are kind of pushing.
Oh yeah,
that.
social
watching-
media has destroyed everything. Like that's just. I
Yeah.
mean, we're on it now, but that's just
Yeah.
destroyed it. You know,
I mean, it's good
We're
right
gonna-
here, but every
We're
place.
gonna use it right now. It's okay inside of this bubble, but once I'm off, not terrible.
Fuck you, Zuckerberg, but also thank you for your love.
Well, but it goes. I mean, because it's the heightened sense of the what did somebody call it
Anonymity?
the other day? Not even anonymity. It's just people. It inflates people's feeling of self. Like, oh yeah, no, dude, for real. Like,
Celebrities shouldn't be allowed to
for
talk
real.
about anything.
Nope, they're actors. Like that just.
Yep. Go act.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, their same right to talk or them being able to talk about it is basically what we're doing right now. We're just not famous.
I just infamous.
Yes.
Yeah. Notorious. It's like, oh,
You'll know who we are eventually.
yeah. What is it used to be when American Idol was first coming on? Everybody would be like, "Y'all gonna see me again. Y'all gonna see me again. Y'all ain't seen the end of me." Like, okay.
Never
But
to
I-
be seen again.
I think, yeah. Who was that? Yeah. But I think it goes. I just forgot my train of thought. I think. Oh yeah. I think it's the problem is that it's the overinflated sense of I say self-worth, which really just sounds terrible, but people will throw their opinion out on Facebook, or like when people get in those arguments, like in the comment sections, like, what do you
Oh.
like? Whose opinion do you think you're going to change? Like, like somebody's going to read your little hashtag at the bottom of like a 500 reply to a comment and be like, oh, that guy's right.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
I can barely change anyone's point of view in person,
Oh no, because
let
confirmation
alone
bias is terrible.
where they actually have access to facts.
Yeah, well, like I said, confirmation bias is terrible. Me and you can have a disagreement. You'll go, I don't really know, and then you'll look at Ram and then go, hey man, like, how do you feel about this? And he's like, oh, I totally agree with you. Yeah, that's what I thought. You're stupid. Like,
Yeah.
That is how it works.
2 versus 1, nerd. Yeah, like it's just it's like it just. So my little girl, right? My little girl watches all of her Disney movies, like any. Oh yeah, dude, she's all about it. So all about it. Sometimes she wonders why I mute it because I don't want her to hear some of the things that you guys.
Smart move.
But no, it's all good. Mostly Firth, because Firth is just loud. It's like, oh geez. But she was watching. There's that scene in Inside Out where like they spill that box of whatever it is, and they pick it up, and they're like, oh, that's weird. These facts and opinions look so similar. And the guy's like, yeah, it happens all the time. Like that's 100%. I think what happens. People will have their opinion. They're like, well, because I feel this way, this is my truth. So it's got to be that way for everybody. And it's like, no.
That's not how facts work.
No. But I just it drives me nuts when I see people put that on there. Yeah. But yeah, I don't.
Vote McCready 2024. His slogan will be "First sucks."
Dude, he killed me. He killed me when he made that comment a few weeks back about how he was your target audience or like your one fan base or your viewer or something. I was like, dude, that's hilarious. Like
You're not wrong. So far, it's you and him.
I was dude. I tried, man. Y'all know how it is. Like I got a couple guys that you worked with trying to start something. It's like I'm going to chime in, and I tell people about it. I'm at work and I'll run it. Like I'll just play it. And intermittent with Dr. Dre. Yeah, man, you know how it is. I want people to know my political views. Just like set it on there and just spew libertarian. Because one of the guys I work with is one of the civilians I work with is a retired. He's been retired for probably eight years now, and he's like, "Well, I'm libertarian," but then he'll make comments that are sort of liberal, and then we'll just eat him alive. Just how it is in the military. You'll just aggravate him like, "Oh, he's a Democrat. He's a Democrat in sheep's clothing. Get out of here, do you?" And just try to throw him under the bus, and then he's like,
He's
"No, that's not what I mean." Yeah,
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Yeah. Did you guys
I
watch?
can just imagine you playing the podcast, and then everyone like working, like listening to it in the office, and all of a sudden, like one of us say something, they're like, "The fuck did he just say?"
Oh, dude. Well, so one of the guys, because I told him about it when Joe Jorgensen was coming on, and I thought that was funny because your audience went from like 6 to like 300 and something. And then as soon as she got off, it went
15,000 views, my friend.
Oh yeah, there you go. I was like, that's the fastest spike I've ever heard. Like just all the way up. She went off. Oh, I was like, oh, there you go.
Right back down.
Yeah, we crashed pretty hard on that one.
You're on 15,000 views on that video.
I thought we were.
Fuck,
Dude,
I
that's
think
crazy.
it may be more now.
That's awesome.
A week after the episode, it was 15,000.
Dude, that's crazy.
Like it was.
Appreciate you, McCready.
I do. I tell guys
insane.
about it all the time. I'm like, man, like it's just just because it's just like anything else. Podcasts are becoming so big now. And everybody's trying to. Because I think it's funny, and I don't even know. You may have done something, and I don't know if you did or not. But you know that 2CR now runs the podcast. Sergeant Major Burke runs the podcast for them. It's called Kill Tank Radio, and it's him talking.
Oh shit,
to
I know
soldiers.
about that.
Yeah. It's actually pretty okay sometimes because he'll talk to soldiers inside. First Sergeant Hamako was on it. The old chaplain assistant, I always called her Dolphin. I can't remember. Yeah, she's on it.
Yeah.
Like when they're talking about like suicide awareness and everything, but it's actually pretty legit because it's just getting the word out. But I had made a comment upstairs to the armor school people about soldiers and podcasts and how important they are. And it's like, heck, I even listen to my guys who run one. And of course he was like, oh, what do they talk about? And I was like, no, I don't know if you really want to listen, but okay.
It depends. What do you want to listen about?
Not the stuff that you're going to want to talk about, but I think that conversation might have started. They're trying to now start an armor school podcast. I don't know what you're going to talk about, but they're armor things.
Go through FMs.
Yeah, why not? Well, even West Point has one now. The Modern War Institute now does one where they talk about like officer things that enlisted guys are like, that's gross. I don't care about that.
All right, Joe Rogan, we no longer have a war with you.
Well, they just
We're now attacking the West Point podcast.
West Point's done. but they
We're
just,
calling a truce with Joe Rogan.
well, they
Joe Rogan, the beef's been squashed. This West Point fucking podcast is going down.
Oh, we
cadets
have
are
we have a bigger target.
well, they just did one on the I can never remember how to say it, but it's the whole Armenian Azerbaijani dude. It's like they just started talking about that conflict, and so it's stuff that you're like I listen to it because it's things I feel like I should probably understand, but even I'm like, okay, this is too much. It's just too much for me.
Well,
But
I do need to go. Need to help my wife with getting ready. She's getting ready to fly up to Idaho tomorrow. But Rico,
Woo!
Duncan, I'm gonna let you guys handle all this.
Yeah.
Rico's got all the buttons and stuff. We will
I'm
be back
actually gonna-
on a little bit
yeah,
later.
I think it's like the worst timing because
Yeah.
I'm about to have to walk off too. So that's
Oh,
just like,
Never
Yeah,
mind.
no.
Thank you all for
There's a
watching.
natural break.
So I will be on later on tonight.
I'll probably be
I'll
on
be
later on too.
around 8, 9 o'clock once I get the kids to bed.
yeah, because
I'm gonna
that'll be
try to
right when
hop
the
back
recording
on.
starts coming in. So that'll be real
Yep.
good.
I'm gonna try to hop back on, and then anyone else who's watching, any of our friends, if you guys want to jump on too, and we can speculate and we can talk and fuck around and discuss everything, fantastic. So if you guys want to,
Should
and you
have
have
some more
time,
results then.
Yeah.
jump on around 8:30. I'll let you all know on the Facebooks. Thank you to everyone who jumped on to discuss with us. We talked with Futhi earlier. He wasn't on the podcast. He jumped on beforehand to let me know. He just wanted to endorse that some of the units over in Fort Carson were allowing soldiers to go and vote during the workday, which is what they should be doing, but they were doing that, so that's great. But
There's
Sounds
the
like a
great
great
recocketing.
Sounds like a great gunnery.
Yeah.
So that's-
thank you, Stephen Mix, for jumping on. You beautiful, beautiful man, you. Duncan, thank you for coming on. McCready.
His name is
if you
Balthazar. It
happen
says
to-
it right there.
yeah, excuse me.
Oh, sorry, Balthazar.
It wouldn't let me put Balthazar the Goblin Prince. It limits. It's not fair. Full expression is dead.
Not enough
This-
words.
it's just-
McCready, if you are still awake for some odd fucking reason, you jump on. And Andy, you're in the States, so you better fucking be on later.
He's-
Not even live firing
life firing? That sounds serious.
yet.
Is that an
They've
MRT
upped-
class?
They've upped their levels. They're like, hey guys, we're no longer shooting at targets. We're shooting at privates. Run.
Live firing. Real target detection. Fort Bliss is already doing that, apparently. I don't know if you guys heard about that one.
Oh,
I'm there.
I
I
won't
don't
get
know
into
about
that. I won't get into that.
we'll discuss it.
I won't get into that.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for talking. The new guy, Ali Alambaba. What was your fucking name?
Whoa, his name was just Al.
Al.
Nope. What are you talking about?
He's Middle Eastern now.
Is there...
He doesn't have a picture.
Jeez.
I just gotta assume. He calls it
Yep,
racist.
just Al.
But thanks for having me on, though, guys. It's good seeing both
Yeah.
of y'all.
Thank
Of
you.
course. It was lovely seeing
Absolutely.
you.
I'll jump on later when all the other guys jump on, I guess, too, and then we can all just spat.
Just
I'll have beer by
yes.
then, hopefully, so that way
Fucking
that'll
talk
help.
over each other and get stupid. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Just
Well, it's not real
nonsense.
unless you're yelling over each other. Then we're basically just
Exactly.
like, and then we're good to go. So,
Drunken nonsense.
So many
with the
viewers.
big leagues. So many. The best viewers. Look, there's so many viewers. So it's like that
Oh.
hand thing. So
Please like, share, and subscribe. Show some love. Shows to your friends. Shows to your enemies. Either way, shows around. We love you guys.
later.
Say